that this was going to happen. We saw this coming down the pipeline. We saw this coming down the pipeline, and we're we're getting more and more details here. Now, Donald Trump, I can only imagine that he's already kind of like starting some early celebrations at this point. I mean, there's been an enormous amount of corruption across virtually all of Donald Trump's cases, guys. And what we have just discovered is literally about to be like the tip of the iceberg. This whole case is about to get just literally not only I mean, we may not even have to go as far as a we may not even have to go as far as actually like having this trial reheard. They may just go ahead and throw this whole thing out. I mean, to be very honest with you guys, Jim Jordan, he actually put a lot of pressure on some of these folks a couple of weeks back. And we actually heard from DA Alvin Bragg, and I actually got a letter here from DA Alvin Bragg's office. And let me see, can y'all see this letter? Let me see. And if you look at the top left, you can actually see DA Alvin Bragg's basically this is his letterboard, the header. So anyway, DA Alvin Bragg has actually said that he's going to testify. And so we got this to talk about. I don't want to overwhelm you guys, but I'm a little bit excited if you can't tell. But all right, so we got this letter from DA Alvin Bragg. He has actually admitted to he's going to testify and confirm whether or not there was weaponization of the legal system used against former President Donald Trump. Now, we already have our suspicions that the Biden administration is leveraging the FBI, they're leveraging the DOA or the DOJ to come after Donald Trump, right? But we may actually have concrete evidence, and there will be no more denial, guys. There will be no more denial. Also, we got to talk about this other letter here. Let me show you. Let me see if I can blow this. I want to blow this up for you guys right quick. Hold on one second. All right. So as you can see, if you look at the top left, you can see this actually came from Judge Juan Merchan's office, right? And so this is a letter that Juan Merchan took it upon himself to send to Donald Trump's lawyers, okay? And it's dated June 7th. So what this means is that this was sent out yesterday. And I'm going to just go ahead and read it to you guys. But before I do, all I ask is that you guys do me a favor, hit the like button for the video, subscribe to the channel, do all the YouTube-y stuff that makes the algorithm go crazy, right? But yeah, so apparently there was some Facebook post on the New York court system's website, Facebook page, which I'm on there. Check this out. I'm on newyorkcourts.gov, right? So this is their Facebook page. And I was actually looking for the post. Did you guys go to their website? Did you guys go to their Facebook page? Newyorkcourts.gov. It's actually all right, so the banner says newyorkcourts.gov, but it's actually New York State Unified Court System. Anyway, this is where the evidence had come out that there apparently was a juror that had leaked some information that they weren't supposed to do. Now, quick shout out and thank you to James Reese, aka James Burning Waters. You are the man, sir. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat on this beautiful Saturday morning. Is it beautiful where you guys at? I mean, I think if you're breathing air, it is beautiful. So let it be beautiful. Thank you so much, my friend. And thank you all of you guys for supporting the channel. You guys are phenomenal, okay? But here's the thing, guys. So apparently there was a post on Facebook from one of the jurors, and it came out. Let me just compare the dates, because the date of the letter The letter from Judge Juan Merchan is dated from yesterday, so June 7th. But the date of the Facebook post, according to Judge Juan Merchan's letter, as you can see here, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's actually saying May 29th. So before I even read this letter to you guys and go over some of the details here that could very well let Donald Trump off this case and just completely acquit the man of all of this wrongful conviction here, let's go into this here. So May 29th, I go to their Facebook page and I'm like, okay, it's not a very popular Facebook page. So in other words, there's not a whole lot of posts. So that's a good thing. So I don't have to go through like thousands and thousands of posts. There's a post here from 21 hours ago. There's a post here from a day ago. There's a post here from, looks like they're hiring for some network systems position. Okay, May 31st. All right, we're getting close. May 28th. But wait, where's May 29th? It just skips over that. So then I'm like, then it goes to May 27th. So it's not like these things are out of order. They're in sequence. So where's the post from May 29th? Oh, wait. Did the court system decide to delete it? Are they trying to hide this post that was made from a juror that leaked out what the Donald Trump jury decision was going to be before it actually came out? So in other words, the judge has already admitted that it was here, right? The judge already admitted that there was a juror that posted on the court's Facebook page the details. So if it's not here, they clearly removed it, deleted it, hid it. Isn't that deleting evidence, right? I'm just saying. I'm not an attorney, but I'm just looking at this thing like an attorney would look at it, right? This is like a crime scene and you're moving stuff around. This is no different than Jack Smith and the FBI barging into Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, looking for these classified documents with approval from Joe Biden's DOJ to go up in there with basically what is it? What is it? Lethal. They were authorized to use lethal force in Donald Trump's home, right? They're going through there. They're looking for these classified documents. And if you guys have been following my show for a while, you already know that that the federal government had already sent half those files to Donald Trump's house anyway. He didn't even take them. So how are you going to come after Donald Trump, barge it up in his house up in Mar-a-Lago? Secret Service is there, armed and ready, and they show up in there. They showed up with like the EMS and like different basically it's like they were prepared for a shootout. They were prepared for things to get violent just to get some papers. And this is a former president. This is not like you drove up to the trap house and you got a bunch of drug dealers in there and you expect things to go awry. This is Donald Trump. You got the Secret Service. This is probably one of the most secure places in the world, and you already know who you're up against. This is a former president of the United States. Why do you need anywhere near that level of force is beyond me. I mean, these clowns go up in there, shuffling papers around, and then finally, Jack Smith, he ended up having to basically admit that, hey, yeah, we are pursuing Donald Trump for the mishandling of classified documents. But in our attempt to acquire these documents, we've also mishandled these documents. These guys are absolute retards. But that's beyond the point. And then who knows if they're up in there sniffing Melania Trump's drawers in her dresser drawer, just, weirdos. Oh, we're looking for evidence as they're, putting certain garments near their noses. You know what I'm saying? Like wild stuff, guys. Weird people. Quick shout out and thank you to Nana's Crochet Corner for the $5 super chat this morning. Nana says, hello, Ron. Sorry I haven't been live with you. I miss hanging out, being ultra busy, spring, summer. It's about time to hear some good news for Trump. Well, I got some good news for you guys. I got some really good news for you guys. Appreciate the love you guys are showing me, all the thumbs up, all of you guys sharing these videos, because mainstream media doesn't want this information to be out there. Mainstream media wants you to think that Donald Trump is a criminal. Mainstream media is actually starting to backtrack. And we're going to talk about that. Louis Spitzer, thanks so much for the $20 super chat, my friend. Louis Spitzer says, if Biden wins, truth tellers need to watch their back. They sure do. But you know what they say about the truth, right? Eventually it comes to light. So anyway, so here we are. You know, I'm on again. I'm on their website. I'm on their Facebook page. The post is gone. But let's talk about this letter from Judge Juan Merchan. So Judge Juan Merchan, he says today. Now again, this let's see. This comes from Judge Juan Merchan, Judge of the Court of Claims, Supreme Court, Criminal Term, First Judicial District, and this is from 100 Century Street, New York, 10013, right? This is the same address of where Donald Trump was going through this trial with DA Alvin Bragg and Judge Juan Merchan, Stormy Daniels, this whole hush money trial. Same address on the header here, right? And of course, you had some folks, and I got to talk about them because y'all are gonna see it, and I just want you guys to know what's up, right? You're gonna hear folks talking about how, oh, this was a hoax, right? And this is like a fake juror. I can't confirm or deny that, but I have been hearing those rumors. Oh, this is a fake, this is a hoax, right? But here's the thing. Why, number one, why did they remove this post from the court system's Facebook page? Number one, right? Number two, why would the judge send a formal email, a formal letter to Donald Trump's lawyer if this wasn't worth looking into? The judge is not going to do that. The judge is not, Judge Juan Merchan, he's not trying to do Donald Trump's legal team any favors. So why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? There's got to be more to this. There has to be more to this. Otherwise, he would have just blown it off. Look how many times Donald Trump's legal team has presented evidence and he said, and he denied their ability to present the evidence to the jury. They had so much evidence that would have acquitted Donald Trump, but they didn't want Donald Trump's legal team to present that. They had so many witnesses that could easily have acquitted Donald Trump. Judge Juan Merchan, he said, nope, you can't bring that witness. Nope, we're not going to let that witness testify. Meanwhile, you got Stormy Daniels dropping all sorts of salacious BS to the court that doesn't have any actual value toward proving or disproving Donald Trump's innocence. But yet, actual evidence, actual witnesses that Donald Trump's legal team wanted to bring in for testimony, he shot those down. So again, I only say that to say, look at the history, look at the pattern. I always say this, you know, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? Look at the history, look at the pattern of how Judge Merchan has handled Donald Trump's case thus far. He ain't trying to do them no favors. What's good, Catalia? Good morning. So with that being said, I think that this could very well actually not be a hoax and could be real. Again, I can't prove it or anything like that, but we'll as time goes on, we'll see what happens. But what we do know for a fact, though, is the judge did send this letter out, and he's not going to do that for no reason. It says, again, this is from Judge Juan Merchan, Supreme Court of the state of New York, right? It says here, dear counsel, today the court became aware of a comment that was posted on the Unified Court System's public Facebook page, and which I now bring to your attention. So they're admitting that they're aware of it and that this has taken place on their Facebook page, right? In the comment, the user, quote, Michael Anderson. Now, I don't know all the names of the jurors. I don't know if that's even published. I don't know if the names of the jurors are published because that could be a safety concern. Anyway, the user's name, according to the judge's letter, is Michael Anderson. So it says here, quote, "My cousin is a juror and says Trump is getting convicted. Thank you, folks, for all your hard work." So again, this post on their Facebook page, on the court's Facebook page, says what's going to happen the day later. And then it's thanking them for all their hard work. So they're predicting what was going to happen. So again, this Michael Anderson is the cousin of a juror. So we don't really know who that juror is. I guess we could do maybe a genealogy, or what was that, ancestry.com, and try to figure that person out, right? But apparently this family member knew ahead of time that Donald Trump was going to be convicted and be guilty. Before I even go into this, think about this for a second. You remember how when the judge said, hey, there was like this gap when closing arguments, the closing statements were presented by both the prosecution and the defense, and they said, okay, all closing arguments are in. And I pointed out how, just to kind of further drive my point home about how unfair Judge Juan Merchan was being to Donald Trump and his legal team. You don't make the defense have to provide their closing arguments first. Typically, 99 times out of 100, the prosecution provides their closing arguments first, and then the last thing that the jury would hear is the closing arguments of the defense attorneys, right? Because you've got to remember, the way that the legal system is supposed to work here in America, of course, United States, the Americas, it's changing every single day, and not necessarily in a good way, right? The way the legal system here in America is supposed to be is that you're innocent until proven guilty. With that being said, it is the burden of proof lies on the prosecution to prove that the accused is guilty, right? The burden of proof lies on the prosecution. So every advantage is actually supposed to be provided to the defense. Even the gag order. The gag order is designed to protect the defendant. But in this case, Judge Juan Merchan used the gag order against the defendant. Another rule was broken, right? So again, if you're innocent until proven guilty and the burden of proof is supposed to fall on the prosecution, typically the prosecution provides their closing arguments first. And then the last thing that the jury would hear, which is going to be more influential because it's the last thing that they would hear before making their decision, is that the defense provides their closing arguments at the end. Anyway, Judge Juan Merchan broke both those rules. Going back to the letter, again, my cousin is a juror and says Trump is getting convicted. Thank you, folks, for your hard work. The comment, now labeled as 1 week old, responded to a routine UCS notice posted on May 29th, 2024, regarding oral arguments in the 4th Department of the Appellate Division related to this proceeding. The posting, entitled "The Appellate Division, 4th Department, will hear oral arguments this morning at 10 a.m. And the comments are both viewable. And then they provide their Facebook page, website address, facebook.com/New York Courts. If you guys want to look that up, you can check it out for yourself. And then you can see that there's actually a wet signature. If you look at the bottom there, you can see Judge Juan Merchan signed it with a blue ink pen. So this is 100% legit. 100% legit, guys. So, oh yeah. So this is big. This is real big. In fact, this is really big. So, a week after a New York jury found former President Donald Trump guilty of falsifying business records, Democrats are now debating whether or not this conviction will benefit President Joe Biden in the upcoming election. Donald Trump's campaign has reported a significant fundraising boost with a $35 million haul following the guilty verdict and over $140 million raised here, guys. Key Republican figures, we're looking at Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. he is actually rallying to support Donald Trump, getting the GOP behind Donald Trump. President Joe Biden and his party, they're trying to leverage Donald Trump's conviction to galvanize Democratic voters and try and sway public opinion against Donald Trump, but it's not working. The more they try to use these cases to harm Trump, the more benefit he's actually getting. And it's just backfiring. It's backfiring left and right. President Biden, he started referring to Donald Trump as a convicted felon, including a fundraiser in Connecticut. In fact, that might have actually been the first time. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. That might have actually been the first time Biden actually referred to Trump as a convicted felon. But he's trying to leverage this thing. He's trying to use this as a marketing tactic to say, you don't want to vote for a criminal, do you? But supporters of Trump, they're saying 34 counts, 3,400 counts. They're still going to vote for him. So it's not hurting him, right? And at a Connecticut fundraiser, Biden emphasized the unprecedented nature of Donald Trump's conviction, basically saying, look, folks, this campaign has entered uncharted territory. Last week, for the first time in American history, a former president is convicted, a convicted felon. He's now seeking the office of the presidency, end quote. So this is what President Biden wanted from day one. He wanted Trump to be convicted so he could use that against him. So it's like, but it's backfire. It's just not working. Now, despite these efforts, some like a former Biden campaign aide had mentioned, they're doubtful that labeling Donald Trump a convicted felon would significantly change the voter behavior. And it hasn't. In fact, it actually kind of helped. In fact, now this is a Biden aide, right? One of Biden's aides said, quote, "It seems intentional to call him a convicted felon. There is a stigma attached to it for sure. But how's that any different from the stigma attached to Trump since the 1980s? Americans made their deal with Trump in 2016, warts and all. The question is whether they're going to give him a chance again," end quote. So this is Biden's aide coming out saying, look, this was Biden's intention from the start. His own aides are abandoning him. This is wild stuff, guys, isn't it? Recent polls indicate Donald Trump's support remains steady even after the conviction. So it's pretty wild. That's all I can say. It's pretty freaking wild. But there's another thing that has come out just recently, and it's got to do with DA Alvin Bragg. And essentially, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, he's now willing to testify about Donald Trump's conviction and prosecution. And so this is big news here, guys. So I've already shared the letter from the judge with you guys, Judge Juan Merchan, but there's also a letter from District Attorney Alvin Bragg. And he's expressed his willingness to testify about his prosecution of former President Donald Trump. However, he has indicated that he's not going to do so on the date that was requested by the House Republicans. But that's okay. As long as he does it, that's all that matters. Quick shout out and thank you to Roadside Garage for the $5 super chat. There were two posts, one on the 20th and one on the 29th. The jury was rigged. The judge wanted to get in front of the news cycle to save his you-know-what. You know what? I appreciate that, Roadside Garage. You said one on the 20th and one on the 29th. I didn't go back to the 20th, but since you bring it up, I'm going to just see if there's anything on their Facebook page from the 20th right quick. Maybe they forgot to delete that one. Who knows, right? So let me go see if there's anything from the 20th, 23rd, 22nd, 21st, May 20th. The appellate division, 4th department will hear oral arguments this morning, 10 a.m. Okay. There's some comments here. Let me see. A case this big, Democrats. Juan Merchan needs a private investigator to dig deep into his life. Wow. They're calling him out on his own Facebook page. That's funny. Where are the original comments from the time the Oh, dude, there's people in here asking, where are all the original comments? Dude, you got regular people on this Facebook page. I would laugh if you guys like all hit this Facebook page up and like started asking and blowing up their spot. They're saying this is from Robert Tate, just a regular person like me and you guys, right? So Robert Tate asked the question, where are all the original comments from the time of the juror relative comment? All these comments are from today. Dude, they're trying to clean up this mess. They're trying to hide it. And you got regular people like me and you getting on here asking, yo, where's the evidence? Why are you guys trying to hide it? I mean, we know why, but it's very clear. It's very clear what they're trying to do. They're trying to hide all this information. Anyway, I do want to thank you for sharing that information with me because I didn't know about the post from the 20th. So appreciate you, Roadside Garage. But yeah, so DA Alvin Bragg, he has indicated that he's not going to do so. He's not going to testify on the date that the House of Representatives, House Republicans have asked for. But just yesterday, Leslie Dubeck, she's the general counsel for Alvin Bragg, and she sent a letter to House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan. And in this letter, Dubeck conveyed that the DA's office is committed to voluntary cooperation after Jim Jordan, the Ohio Republican, requested DA Alvin Bragg to testify on June 13th. And so basically that goes with this letter here. That goes with this letter here. And so you can even see DA Alvin Bragg's stamp at the upper left-hand corner. And this was written just yesterday, so like 24 hours ago. And it looks like, okay, so it says here, the Honorable Jim Jordan, Chairman, House Committee Judiciary. So that's who it's written to. And it says, Dear Chairman Jordan, this responds to your letters dated May 31st, 2024, inviting representatives of the New York County District Attorney's Office to testify before the House Judiciary Committee Select Subcommittee in a public hearing about the work of this office. This office is committed to voluntary cooperation. That cooperation includes making the district attorney available to provide testimony on behalf of the office at an agreed upon date and evaluating the propriety of allowing an assistant district attorney to testify publicly about an active prosecution to which he is assigned. However, the proposed date that the subcommittee selected without consulting the office presents various scheduling conflicts. In addition, the committee's invitation has not made clear the scope of the proposed testimony, and trial court proceedings in People versus Trump are currently scheduled to continue through July 11, 2024. Now, again, July 11, 2024 is the same date of Donald Trump's sentencing. So basically, there's a scheduling conflict. This is why DA Alvin Bragg's assistant attorney is basically saying that it's the date that they're asking for is not going to work for him. The trial court is reviewing appellate courts. The trial court and reviewing appellate courts have issued numerous orders for the purpose of protecting the fair administration of justice in People versus Trump, and to participate in a public hearing at this time will be potentially detrimental to those efforts. So basically, it looks like DA Alvin Bragg has confirmed that he will be testifying, but they just want to like let the sentencing be done, get the whole Donald Trump, People versus Trump case for New York to be completed before speaking about it. So that's about to get real interesting. That's about to get real interesting, guys. So what do you think about these new findings? I mean, this is big. This is freaking big. This is definitely groundbreaking. Let's see. Junie Hogg says, you are real and honest. Appreciate that. Keep on keeping on. I appreciate that. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Do you guys enjoy the show? If you enjoy it, I'll keep doing what I'm doing. But I really do appreciate you guys. Just trying to be transparent as best I can with you guys. Guadalupe Rubino, he wants to come clean. That's right. A lot of folks are afraid. A lot of folks are afraid. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. And keep sending me information that you find. Because like I said, Roadside earlier pointed out the May 20th Facebook post that I wasn't even aware of. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have even gone that far to discover this big group of people in the Facebook comments also asking, where are the posts? Who's deleting them? Who's removing them? Right. So we got big updates that are coming here in the future. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Happy Saturday, and I'll see you guys on the next one.